Iran just sent a clear warning to the United States: attack us, and every U.S. base in the region becomes a target. Tehran has told countries hosting American troops, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Turkey, and Qatar, that their soil will not be safe if Washington strikes Iran. Iran didn't stop there. Officials said these countries must actively stop the U.S. from launching attacks. At the same time, Tehran suspended direct talks with Washington and warned it is at the highest level of military readiness. The U.S. took the threat seriously. American personnel have begun leaving key bases, including parts of Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, one of the largest U.S. military hubs in the region. This isn't routine. It's a precaution for war. Iran's Revolutionary Guards say their missile stockpile is larger than ever. They've warned that any strike won't just be answered. It could come before an attack, if Iran believes one is coming. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia is quietly telling Washington not to strike. Riyadh has refused to allow its airspace to be used, and fears a wider war could shut down the Strait of Hormuz, cutting global oil supplies and crashing markets. So this isn't just about Iran and the United States anymore. The whole world is now on a pressure point. One wrong move, and this could turn into World War III. President Trump just told Iran to basically fuck off. He stopped all negotiations with Tehran, announced a 25% tariff on all countries that keep trading with Iran, and said the United States is on its way to help Iranian protesters. Iran is burning from the inside. Protests spread after the economy collapsed and prices exploded. Activist groups say thousands have been killed, while the government denies it. The regime cut the internet and sent security forces into the streets. President Donald Trump warned Iran to stop killing civilians or face consequences. His team is now reviewing military options, including moving U.S. warships closer and using cyber pressure. Iran answered back. Officials said the country is ready for war and even talked about striking first if they think an attack is coming. But here's the real question. Is this only about protesters? Or is it also about oil, power in the region, and Iran as Israel's biggest security threat? Trump's tariff move hits everyone, allies and rivals alike, especially countries like China and Russia that still trade with Tehran. This is no longer diplomacy. This is pressure turning into confrontation.
These are the countries that are currently on Trump's hit list, and a coup could take place. The U.S. Delta Force can carry out a covert operation at any time to kidnap the Iranian supreme leader, similar to how an attempt was made to kidnap Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro. The United States Navy has increased its naval presence in the Persian Gulf and nearby waters amid rising tensions with Iran. Satellite imagery and open-source reporting show several U.S. naval vessels actively positioned to enhance readiness and deterrence in the region. The USS Theodore Roosevelt, a U.S. aircraft carrier, is present in the Persian Gulf along with its complete carrier strike group. Alongside this, a large number of Aegis-class destroyers are deployed in the Mediterranean Sea to protect Israel. In addition, an unknown number of Ohio-class guided missile submarines have moved close to Iran, from where Tomahawk cruise missiles could be launched against Iranian targets. Littoral combat ships have also been deployed. There are also reports that the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, along with its complete strike group, has departed and is heading toward Iran. Iran has issued a warning that if the United States attacks Iran, Iran will target U.S. military bases located across the Middle East. It's there at any time. At number 1 is Greenland. Trump has said that Greenland is currently crowded with Russian and Chinese commercial ships, which he considers a major threat to U.S. security. It should be noted that this region is rich in rare minerals that are used in mobile phones, electric vehicles, and military equipment. Trump's attention is now focused on these very resources. At number 2 is Colombia. Colombia also has large reserves of oil, gold, and silver, and Trump's greed has reportedly grown to the extent that he has accused the country's president of involvement in drug trafficking. He has warned the Colombian president to be prepared for consequences. At number 3 is Iran. Iran is currently witnessing intense protests due to inflation. Trump has claimed that Iran is firing on its own civilians, and has warned that if this continues, the United States will launch a very severe attack on Iran. At number 4 is Mexico. Trump has accused Mexico of being the main route through which drugs and illegal migrants enter the United States, and has said that strict action must be taken against it as well. At number 5 is Cuba. Trump has said that Cuba is a close ally of Venezuela and that there is no need to attack it directly because it is already on the verge of collapse. And it was Cuban security personnel who were deployed to protect Nicolas Maduro, and they were killed at the hands of U.S. Delta Force. In the past, governments were overthrown secretly, but now Trump has openly resorted to issuing threats.
What would happen if the United States attacked Iran right now? First, the U.S. would use its advanced satellite systems to paralyze Iran's communications network. While Iranian commanders are thrown into confusion, far away the bombing monster, the Northrop B-2 Spirit, would already be taking off. In a matter of moments, Iran's nuclear research facilities would would be completely destroyed. At the same time, U.S. warships would launch waves of missiles at Iran's key command and control centers. Faced with this situation, Iran would have no choice but to retaliate by attacking U.S. military bases across the Middle East. Soon after, Iran would suddenly announce that it had successfully obtained nuclear weapons and was ready to use them unless the United States withdrew its forces. However, the U.S. would fully understand that this was merely a bluff and would proceed with a second wave of attacks to completely crush Iran. In the end, the Iranian state would collapse, and the United States would establish a new government under its control.